This Mini on steroids, the Countryman, probably the one best suited to our kind of roads, and now it's got a diesel power plant. So, should be even better, but let's find out just how well it does. The Countryman is the first Mini to have 5 doors, and designers worked hard to ensure that it retained the Mini look. It's 100mm wider and 150mm taller than the regular Mini, and of course it sits higher from the ground too, making it possible the most practical Mini that there is. It's the front that has all the attitude with the power bulge on the bonnet, the heavy detailed headlights and the larger grille. The side retains the heritage and the rear gets a boot-lid badge that doubles up as a tailgate handle. On the inside, the familiar round dials and funky interior are all there. There's a very cockpit-like feel with the toggle switches on the central console and overhead, the thrust lever-like handbrake and the cool interior lighting. There's an interesting rail in the middle of the front seats that holds all kinds of accessories like a mobile phone holder or sunglasses case and more. Despite all the funkiness, the ergonomics are not the best. You have to search for things on the central console, and warning lamps are distributed between the speedo and the rev counter, making it confusing. Also, for a car of this price, there are some things missing, like the front seats and steering are manually adjustable instead of power, and the rear passengers don't have aircon vents, and there's no sat-nav. On the flip side, there's a reasonable amount of equipment. It comes with Bluetooth connectivity, climate control, a sunroof, paddle shifters, and a driver interface system that operates similar to BMW's iDrive. It also has a superb Harman Kardon sound system that makes every radio station sound like a concert. The Mini Countryman's larger proportions make it more practical too. The front feels spacious and the back seat has more room, but still it would fit 2 at the best. The boot is also at a reasonable 350 litres. Under the hood, there's a 1995cc 4-cylinder common rail that makes a rather unimpressive 110 bhp. But then again, it's the torque figure of 27.5 kgm that's quite interesting. Start up and the car settles into a noisy idle. The engine is quite noisy, especially when you rev it hard. It's a responsive, punchy engine once the turbo kicks in. You can ride a nice wave of torque. But the beauty about it is that it'll be a happy companion whether you want to be lazy and drive slowly around a city and in traffic, or you want to put your foot down and have some fun on a free stretch of road. However, in slow-moving traffic, you have to get a bit used to the surges of power that kick in when you tap the throttle. And this is because it has a strong low-speed response. The power also continues through a healthy mid-range, and it gets to the 100 mark in 11.8 seconds. The 6-speed transmission is also sometimes jerky, but otherwise the shifts are quick and there's even a sport mode to make them lightning fast. The paddle shifts though take a lot of getting used to and are quite infuriating to use as it's not a simple system. The Countryman's handling is as you would expect of a Mini. It's quite typically Mini in the sense that the steering feels direct. It's a little heavy though, this steering, because when you're in traffic and you're in city and you're parking, it's not quite as light as you'd like it to be. However, when you're going down a nice twisty, windy road like I am at this point of time, it gives you just the feedback that you want. Add in the good body control and the Mini can be quite entertaining to drive. The tight turning circle and good visibility also make it easy in city conditions. The flip side of all this taut handling is a bumpy and harsh ride. It thumps and crashes over edges, tosses you on lumpy tarmac, and there's quite a bit of suspension noise for your ears to contend with as well. part of the blame rests on the low-profile 18-inch run-flat tires. It's a ride that improves as you go faster, but bigger intrusions can knock the car off its line. Overall, it's a ride that just doesn't befit a car of this price and the practical Mini tag. How thirsty is the Mini? Well, actually, it's quite well behaved. Now for India, we will only get the front-wheel drive version of the Mini, and since it's the first Mini to be assembled here, it's a whole lot cheaper than the import version. But at 25.6 lakh for the base and 28.9 for the high version, it's not only competing with the luxury hatches, it's also stepping into serious luxury saloon territory. Yes, it does have a classy interior, a peppy engine, sharp handling and good fuel efficiency, but when you consider the harsh ride, the lack of refinement and its hatch dimensions, at this price, you could get more.